All right, I see the live stream is on. Are we ready?
Just one more moment. Let me also start the recording. Okay, we're good.
Okay. Welcome to the February 3rd, 2022 meeting of the CB6 Budget and Governmental Affairs Committee. My name is Reshma Patel, and I'm the chair of the committee. This meeting is called to order at 6:32 p.m. tonight. Tonight, we are joined by Assistant District Manager Brendan Burke. Members of the public, you can raise any questions or comments that you have through the Q&A feature of Zoom. If there is time following the committee's discussion, we will field questions from the public. Steve O has volunteered to take minutes tonight. Thank you, Steve. You all should have received an email from the board office with a link to a doodle sign-up sheet for minutes takers at your committee meetings for 2022. For your convenience, the link to the sign-up sheet is being posted in the chat right now. We will now take attendance by roll call. Brendan will conduct the roll call.
Committee members, I will call your name and you will unmute yourselves. When your name is called, please say present. I will announce if there is quorum. Jim Collins, not here. B. Disman also won't be here tonight. Ava Marie Lassiter.
Present.
Karen Moore also won't be here. Steve O.
Present.
Reshma Patel.
Present.
Brian Van Nieuwenhoven.
Present.
Claude L. Winfield.
Present.
We have a quorum.
The agenda for tonight's meeting was distributed ahead of time by the board office and is reflected on the screen before you. If there is no objection, we will adopt the agenda. Members of the committee, if you object to adopting the agenda, you may raise your hand through Zoom. And Brendan, if you can, I can't see everybody on the screen. So if you see any raised hands, please let me know.
I don't see any hands raised.
Okay. Seeing no objections, the agenda for tonight's meeting is adopted. The minutes of the January 11th meeting were distributed ahead of time by the board office. We had Claude Winfield.
You are home early.
Claude has made some changes to the minutes, which I have sent over to Brendan. Claude, do you want to say the changes or do you want Brendan to read it?
Brendan can read it. It's fine.
Yes,
Okay.
so this is the change to the minute that
Jumping around.
Claude suggested.
Never breakfast.
If anybody who's not speaking,
Maybe you should
put
just
your
ask
mute.
everybody to mute.
So this was the amendment that Claude had recommended to the minutes in the old and new business section. The minutes, correct me if I'm wrong, Claude, will say that Claude L. Winfield informed the committee that the education capital budget for the next fiscal year was going to be discussed the following day when CEC2 will hold its zoning and planning committee meeting with the school construction authority. SCA will present on the proposed December 2021 amendment for 2020 to 2024 fiscal 5 capital plan. He indicated that we should listen to these meetings as our budgeting recommendations in this area are too late to have an impact. The deadline for submission for recommendations is January 14th, 2022 at noon.
Yeah, that's correct, except just say fiscal year 5 capital plan.
Fiscal year 5, okay.
Yes. That's correct.
So that's the amendment to the minutes.
Yes,
It's
that is.
more what I actually said. That's why, you know.
All right, well, thank you, Claude, for the change, and Brendan for making that change. So I will now have a motion to adopt the minutes as amended by Claude. Members of the,
Also move.
okay. Members of the committee, if you object to adopting the minutes, you may raise your hand through Zoom. Seeing no objections, the minutes from the January 11th meeting are adopted. They will soon be available on the CB6 website. In order to conduct an efficient meeting, let's observe a few ground rules. No one may speak until granted the floor. Committee members, if you have a question about committee business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand through Zoom. The chat function should not be used for committee business or questions about agenda topics. All such remarks should be made on the record by raising your hand through Zoom. Chat should only be used to alert us to any technical difficulties you are having, or to state in writing information like an email address that was already stated aloud on the record during the meeting. When a committee member is given the floor to speak, I will identify you and you can unmute yourself so that you can speak. We are required by New York State law to have a transcript of the meeting, so please keep your questions and comments succinct and germane to the discussion. The order of the adopted agenda should be followed. Tonight's agenda is a discussion of a resolution on Senate Bill S-808, legislation which would eliminate the sub-minimum wage for food service workers, service employees, and miscellaneous industry workers who receive tips, chair's report, and then old and new business. After the committee discussion of each agenda item, but before the Q&A period with the public begin. Oh, sorry. Oh yeah, I'm rereading it. Sorry, I apologize.
No worries, no worries.
So I hope everyone got the resolution that was sent around this morning by Brendan. Brian Van Nieuwenhuizen has kindly put the resolution together. And I now open the floor for discussion with committee members.
I say Ava Marie has her hand raised.
I just wanted to make the request that in all of our meetings from now on, there could be more decorum than was shown at the January 11th meeting, even if we disagree, that there is certain respect given to the presenter when someone does come to give very valuable information regarding a particular resolution that we might be considering. So I'm hoping that from now on, that will be taken into consideration when we do have presenters come to our meetings. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva, for that comment. And we will, in the future, if we have a speaker coming to one of our meetings, I will in advance ask everyone to respect the speaker, regardless of what their opinion might be.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Claude, I see you have your hand up.
Let me unmute. Okay. I'm in general agreement with the resolution. I think from the discussion that we had, which was very insightful and fruitful, I think we're in line with what the presentation that was presented. I do have a problem, so I'm letting the committee know. I have a problem with my internet, and this is the only device that I can operate on, and I have to leave by 7 o'clock. So I'm in favor of the resolution, definitely in favor of the resolution.
Does anyone else want to make a comment on the resolution? Or make a motion? Okay, I see
Brian
Brendan.
has his hand raised.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was going to move to adopt. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Does anyone want to second the motion?
I'll
I
second.
second.
Oh.
I don't know who it was, but.
Yeah,
it's
I think
okay.
Steve seconded.
Okay,
Yes, it was.
Okay. So then we will now take a vote on the motion. Brendan,
Okay. When I call your name, please say whether you are in favor, opposed, abstain, or abstain for cause. Jim Collins,
Opposed.
Eva Marie Lassiter,
In favor.
Steve O,
In favor.
Reshma Patel,
in favor.
Brian Van Nieuwenhoven,
In favor.
and Claude L. Winfield.
in favor.
Okay. With 5 in favor, 1 opposed, and no abstentions, the resolution passes.
Thank you, Brendan, for taking the vote. And again, thank you, Brian, for drafting the resolution. We have no other business items on the agenda, so I will move on to my chair's report. We were hoping to have gotten feedback from OMB on our budget request for this fiscal year, but we still have not received it. Usually we get it in mid to late January, but I guess this year with the administration change, we still haven't received it. But once we do, and hopefully we will have it in advance of our March meeting. So at our March meeting, we can then go on with what would have been our topic of our meeting this month, which is going through the items and seeing what was funded, what wasn't, and then having a response to OMB on what their decisions had been on our community's needs statement. The other item I wanted to bring up as a discussion point for our March meeting, last year, in both our January and February meetings of 2021, we had discussed amendments in bills that would improve voting in New York State. And one of the proposals that we had was that within a district, we wanted people to be able to go to any polling station to be able to vote. Our recommendations had not been taken up by the state assembly or the state senate, but one of the issues that is before the state assembly and the state senate right now and recently passed in the state senate is something called church ballots, where last year there were about 14,000 ballots that had not been counted in New York because the person went to the poll site and then filled out what is a provisional or affidavit ballot because they thought that's where they're supposed to vote, but their name was not on the roll. And because they were registered to vote, it's just what that they were for a poll site that was in a different location, usually across the street or maybe a block away, then those 14,000 votes didn't get counted. So that I would like to have as a discussion topic at our next meeting, and we will invite someone from the state assembly or the state senate, one of our representatives, to come speak on that topic. And so I have nothing else in my chair's report, so we can move on to old and new business. Does anyone have anything that they'd like to raise?
I see Brian has his hand raised.
Brian,
I move to adjourn the meeting.
anyone like to second?
Can I speak for some? We had talked some time ago about calling in the city actuary to have her give a reasoning as to why she opposed, why the city was continuing with a 7% compounded annual growth rate versus the 5.9% that the city or that the state uses.
Yes.
And we were talking about doing a forum. I would just wanted to suggest that we invite her.
Sure, I would, I think I'm open to that. And would you want to invite her for March meeting, or if you want to do a forum, I'm happy to work with you to get her to speak as well as someone else who might be an expert in this area.
I really hadn't considered the forum notion. Who would you suggest for the forum?
Yeah, I mean, you could be someone from like the Citizens Budget Commission. I'm trying to think of people who think about these types of issues.
The last time I had a discussion, it was a sidebar with somebody from the Citizens Budget Commission on this topic. They said, yeah, but if we lower the discount rate, then we'll have to cut spending in some other area. So I don't think they're probably a useful resource on this. They seem very political, frankly, for
Madam
what's
Chair.
supposed to be an independent position.
Madam Chair,
Did someone else want to speak? I heard someone else.
that
Claude,
was me.
Oh,
Madam
Claude.
Chair. With all due respect, we have a motion on the floor. I was going to second it, but I would also suggest you might look at the IBO, the Independent Budget Office. They may have someone that can speak to the issue. But I'd like to second the motion that was on the floor, and a motion to adjourn is not debatable.
Okay, so Jim, how about I follow up with you separately, and we can adjourn the meeting for now, and we will have that as a topic item for one of our future meetings.
that's fine.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for your time today.